Good afternoon. This is Melissa with the StockSwoosh.com and welcome. Welcome to the Stock Swoosh Play of the Day. This is a golden gap in WMC. This was a very nice gap this morning that rated 22 points. And lo and behold, here it is. So, sometimes things end up working bigger than you expect. Does that happen all the time? No, but it does happen, more than you think actually in trading. Because why? When momentum comes into stocks, particularly to the downside, it just comes and it comes and it comes hard. And that's the reason that I actually like to do gaps. And that's the reason that I like to short, because when there's panic selling and stuff, it can just drop out of the sky and there's no telling where it can go. So here was the gap of the day. Let's look. Here it is. And it doesn't look like much, okay, but I knew this morning that it was good and opened and just dropped like a rock. So let's look at the beginning of the day. Something very unusual happened in the first beginning trading of this. Hold on, let's go back to look at it. Just very unusual, but can happen at different times. And actually a market maker friend of mine told me this. He told me that, every once in a blue moon, a stock will open after the open. And particularly, he said, in the NASDAQ exchange, not the New York exchange. And it didn't dawn on me until after the fact. That's what happened here. This actually didn't open until here. So the reality is that this whole gap was fine and was intact and set itself up. But the stock looks to me that it didn't really open until after the open, if that makes any sense. It was kind of spacey in here. Not whippy, not jumpy, but like spacey, like where it was jumping to space, like not fluid. Then it started to get the fluidity in the move. So this open first, rallied up, held an area actually a little bit over where the original area was. I had 76 as a number, and it went up to 80. It's not a huge deal, but I watched it, and then took it right in here. Took it right in here on the breakdown. The stop, though, had to be over here. If you really wanted to play it tight, though, you could play it in here, and that's what I did. Why? Because the market was bullish today, and I knew that. Let me go show you on the 2. So I ended up putting the stop over 75. You could have done it aggressively there and put it over 80, but I felt that this shouldn't back up then again after this quick rally. The way that the stock set up this morning on the gap, I felt that it should hold rather quickly. Okay, that's the best way I could put it. And this isn't something that makes like crazy tails all over the place. So the one quick rally was it. That was all that I was giving it. And it actually held the stop and never backed up. Never backed up anywhere near 75. So that was it. I was in the trade. And what a beautiful drop. I mean, original target on this was $20, then $19.90, then $19.80, then $19.75. This trade actually blew through every single number I had on the sheet today except one. I did have dream target of $19.36 and a dream world $19, but this was a big move for the stock on the day. The stock normally does not move $1 in the day. And today the range on the stock actually is $1.20 something. So this is a big range for this. So as a beautiful, huge momentum move, and look, done by 10 o'clock. The whole thing was done by 10 o'clock. Went and looked at this for a second trade down for a bigger move, and it held, and it held, and it held 20, and it back up, and it retested 20, it retested 20. Look here. It retested 20 a million times. It looked fantastic. It looked great. I said, yes, this is going to hold. Yes, this is going to hold. Yes, this is going to hold. Let's look at it on the 5. But the whole time this is doing this, the whole entire time this is doing this, guess what the market's doing? Rallying and breaking out. And this looks great. Every trigger in here is holding. And then when I went back and looked at it, I said, you know what? Here. Everything's great here. At this point then, it was a goner. That green bar basically made the scoop on the 5. And it didn't go over 20 until here. Okay, but that green bar made the scoop in the 5. The majority of the move was done, though, in the first 30 minutes of the day. That often happens. Can this thing go to bigger target? Yes. What was the bigger target? 1938. It still had, a really nice plane if it would have done it, but it couldn't hold itself up with the market. It just couldn't do it. And it had such a big move in the morning. Such a huge move in the morning. It was exhausted. Rallied back a little bit, but then once it went over $20, I said, forget it. There's no point in reshorting this over $20. It did come back down, but I totally knew then and lost complete conviction that it would break 76. It actually did break 76 by 2 pennies, I think. 74. But you see here, this is what I was looking at. And I said, you know what, after this happened, I said, this is going to hold. And it basically did, because it's not going to break on through it. At least not today. At least not today, okay? I'm not talking about for the rest of its life, but I'm talking about today. The move was this morning, and that was it. And then once this went over 20, there was no reason to reshort it. And then when it came back down in here, I knew it wasn't going to break under this, which was what it was going to need to do to take it to break under the low, and then to get to 36. And being against the market this late in the day, after 12, 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, it's just too late to get back in this thing. The play is the morning. That's the play in these gaps. That's the momentum. That's the entries. You got to get these entries fast. They have to be taken aggressively. Oops. And the interesting thing is this 1 minute here. You know, it looks to me like it really just didn't open at the time of the open of the day. But it set up then very quickly afterwards, and it really did what it was supposed to do, and actually played out much better than expected. And there really wasn't any clean way to take it on the 5. The trade, every trade that happened here was on the miniature time frames. If you don't know how to trade on the 1 and the 2, you can't do this thing. There's just no reason to do it. You have to be able to take it quickly, aggressively in the morning. Know that it's a good gap. Know that it rates high and do it. This actually was the highest rated gap this morning. It rated 22 points, and it worked the best. And went bigger and faster in the morning than I thought it would. This is a big move for this stock on the day, $1.20 plus. This is a big thing. And that's what happens with gaps. They create the momentum, and the biggest days they ever have are when? The day of the gap. It's typical. And for this stock to even do this against the market today means there's a problem. There's a definitive problem in this, and it's evident in the way that this bar is going to close now here into the close of the day. So this is Melissa with the StockSwoosh.com. If you're interested in more information on how to rate these gaps to find the best ones and play these gaps to find the best ones, then contact me at melissa@thestockswoosh.com. If you're interested in more information, I'm doing a gap class this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, May 18th and 19th. Feel free to reach out to me to sign up. My email again is melissa@thestockswoosh.com. Thanks, everyone. Have a great night.